In the last video, we looked over our ad hoc dashboard project. In this video, we'll be taking the first step by bucketing our data using sets and groups. One of the most powerful ways to turn data into information is to use groups to compare between subsets. Tableau has a few built-in tools to help us do just that. Sets let us compare any number of selected items, the ins, to those left unselected, the outs. We'll be using a set to compare customers who received a 5% or greater discount on their first order versus those who did not. Before we get started, you'll notice that Tableau has grouped our fields by the Excel sheet that they live on, and our calculated fields now live outside those groups. If you don't have this second table added already, do so by right-clicking on the orders, click Edit Tables, and Add a Table. You'll add the returning customer order number, and on the Join tab, and this is important, you'll remove anything in the Join clause, and then join on Order ID, selecting Order ID from the orders and Order ID from returning customer order number. Leave it as equals and click Add, and then OK. And I already have that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. There are a couple ways to create a set. Before we demonstrate, let's create a calculated field that finds the dollar value of the discount, which is just discount times sales. We'll call it $discount, and just enter the field's discount times sales. Then we'll use that in a field called weighted discount. So create a field called weighted discount with the sum of $discount, our new calculated field, divided by the sum of sales. This gives us the weighted discount rate across multiple items, or when we slice down to the order level, the discount percentage for the entire order. Now we want to find customers who received a weighted discount of less than 5% on their first order. So we'll start with a new sheet, and we'll plot that weighted discount across columns. We'll drag customer name to detail. Customer name is going to be in our orders table. Then our cumulative orders for customer. Into filters, we just want the first order, and hit OK. Now we'll set our marks type to circle. If we take the color down a little bit in transparency, we can see the distribution of customers by the weighted discount on their first order. We could create a set by carefully selecting any marks less than 0.05, but that's not entirely accurate, so we'll go ahead and use a filter. We'll copy using Control, click and drag weighted discount to filters. We'll say at most 0.049999. So now we're just looking at cumulative order discount percentages under 5%. Now we can select all the marks on the viz just by lassoing them, and hover over and click Create Set. We'll name the set Customers with less than 5% discount on order. I already have the set made, so I'll go ahead and cancel this, but you go ahead and hit OK. So now to show that it's working, let's go ahead and remove the filter, and then we'll color by that set. So we'll drag the customers with less than 5% discount to the color shelf. Now we've got blue orders in the set and gray orders outside the set. Now let's put this to use and create the top sheet on our viz. In a new sheet, let's drag out our set to the rows shelf, then drag our applicable metrics to the column shelf. So we have order quantity, sales, profit, margin, which is a calculated field, and $discount, another calculated field. Let's also copy the set to colors to make it stand out a little more. Next, let's talk about groups. So groups allow us to combine and name two more discrete members of a dimension into a single item, to view them alongside other combined or non-combined members. So if we take state and we create a group, we could take Oregon, and I'm holding Control, Washington, and California, and group them together. We can call this West Coast. And we can view that alongside, let's say, Idaho and Colorado and Utah, and we'll say mountains. And we can view those alongside other states or other groups of states. We won't be using groups in this dashboard, but I wanted to remind you of that capability since it's a really easy type of bucket to create. One thing to keep in mind with any of these bucketing methods is that they're static and inflexible. So if you need to group in a more customized or dynamic manner, you can always use a calculated field with a case or an if formula. For example, this is assigning the bucket or the label 1 to 5 for a cumulative order equal to 1. It does that all the way up to 5, and then it assigns a new bucket label for everything between 6 and 10, and does the same going up. These will update automatically when you add new data, and you can customize them as much as you need to. So we've covered two types of bucketing, sets and groups, which empower you to perform comparative analysis and show the difference between two or more buckets. Sets are limited to two members, either a data point is in the set or it's not. Groups allow you to quickly combine items that you'd like to treat as a single item, like referring to Washington, Oregon, and California as the West Coast. The downside to sets and groups is that they're static, so if you need more flexibility or a more robust solution, use a case statement. For example, we can bucket all products that contain the word paper as paper products, and this group will automatically update to include any additional paper products we start selling in the future. In the next video, we'll work with bins and create a box and whisker distribution chart.